Michael Bayliss, you're standing for what electorate?
I'm standing for the lower house seat in Melbourne, Adam Band's stomping ground.
Indeed.
Yes.
And why would you be standing against a Green? Aren't they against population growth too?
Well, you'd like to think so. However, when you look at their population policy, it's about 40 pages trying to talk themselves out of having a population policy. So it's very long-winded and doesn't go anywhere. And when you talk to them directly about it, their view is kind of reduce consumption and preserve what's here already, but have nothing really to say about population and believe we can keep growing ad infinitum, as that's my understanding, but somehow we'll just keep consuming less and less and have all that available land and we'll be okay, which I don't really believe in.
So what are some issues and costs of population growth that you perceive that have brought you to the point where you actually want to put your hat in the political ring?
Well, locally to Melbourne, traffic congestion, infrastructure costs because obviously we can't afford a Westgate link and East Link and a Doncaster railway, and so we just have to kind of choose which one to build to relieve ever-growing traffic and then make it a tollway, so users have to pay for it anyway. So obviously state governments can't keep up with the rate of population growth and the pressure on infrastructure. I mean, the Labor Queensland government, it's believed that they were really booted out because they just couldn't keep up with the demands of infrastructure. Also, it's just with 23 million people, we've pretty much brought the Murray-Darling to its knees. We've cleared 90% of the country, and just about every marsupial under the sun is nearly extinct. And how are we going to stop that trajectory towards environmental oblivion if we're going to double our population?
Now, this reminds me of another political interview I did a few years ago with the State Treasurer of Queensland, and he said, what are you talking about stopping population growth? You want us to put Checkpoint Charlie up at the state border. Is that what it's about? Is it about telling people not to have children?
Not at all. Our current fertility rate is between 1.7 to 1.9, and the numbers that we're getting per year is something from about 150,000 to 250,000 rate of skilled migration, which vastly exceeds the amount of emigration. So that's where the population increase at the moment is coming from.
But do we have any control over that?
Yes, we do. We're a policy away from that through the 457s, through government can decides all the time who can come in, who not, and they can have a quota and can easily have a quota where immigration is equal to immigration, have a stable population. Kelvin Thompson in House of Wills has a brilliant 14-point plan that addresses that and believes that any government can control or can have a say.
So Kelvin Thompson is a Labor politician who is concerned about people having jobs and a chance in Australia. Do you also have similar Labor concerns with, for instance, 457 visas?
Yes, I do, yeah. All his concerns about definitely having the control over 457 visas is one that I share.
And what do you think of business analysts who say it's just great that the price of houses is climbing all the time, and why would anyone want to stop that?
Well, I'd hope they ask to the vast majority of us who are not lenders and who are buyers and ask us what we feel about that. I was seen an article the other day about bemoaning 1.2% reduction in house price other than in Perth, and then over the page it was kind of bemoaning about how house prices are above the earning wage of most Australians, and there's a lot of inconsistency there, and I think they really need to get their act together to kind of at least understand what they're talking about.
Yeah, indeed, the message from the mainstream media is not your message. It's like you have a different set of facts.
Well, it is, and they've also got business interests. I mean, if you look at the Fairfax media, I mean, it should be common knowledge that Rupert Murdoch has a growth agenda. I mean, it kind of makes sense for newspapers. With more people, you've got more customers, and so that would be their priority, to have more customers, no matter what the cost. So of course it'd be pro-immigration, and then trying to give us conflicted messages about why more people is a great and fantastic thing.
Okay.